Oh yeah, now we're getting into one of the toughest NES games ever made. If you ever wanted a game to really get your gears turning, Ninja Gaiden is a game to check out. It's a notoriously difficult NES game, but not one of the hardest NES games. You have unlimited continues to help you get through the game, so more than anything it'll test your endurance and patience to figure out how to get past the trickier parts of the game. And really, in my personal experience, I would say the trick to beating this game is something my brother would call forward motion. Ninja Gaiden puts you in the shoes of a young ninja who is tasked with avenging his father's murder and saving the world from an ancient demon's power. It was heavy stuff for as far as NES plots would go, but it managed to tell its story through the use of cinematic cutscenes, something that was new at the time. You're equipped with a standard sword, and much like Castlevania, you can find a variety of sub-weapons to assist you, such as throwing stars, rising flames, spinny swings, and temporary shields. Nice. And much like Castlevania, they're ammo-based. Much of the gimmick of Ninja Gaiden is figuring out which are the best power-ups to keep and which to avoid during specific moments of the game. Sometimes it's best to keep the throwing stars, and sometimes it's good to ditch them for a momentary invisibility. You won't really know until you've gone through the levels a couple times. The game itself, not counting continues, will take about 45 minutes to an hour to complete, but collectively, you'll be here for a while. As I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the review, the trick I found to beating this game back in the day was forward motion. Constantly moving forward and slashing your way through the enemies helped me beat the game because if I would stop moving, I would get swarmed quickly. Enemies in this game will continue to respawn if you move away from their spawn zone. Standing in the exact spot where they will spawn will cause enemies to spawn indefinitely. It's best to just keep moving forward and never hesitate, much like an actual ninja. Unfortunately, I cannot beat Ninja Gaiden anymore, or rather I don't have the patience to. The last time I beat this game would have been back in high school, and fortunately I have photo evidence. Currently, on my latest playthrough, I got stuck at the final boss who has 3 forms. Losing on any of the forms causes you to go back all the way to the beginning of the final stages. It's nice that the game lets you continue from whichever form you lost on, but still it's a pain in the butt to go back from the beginning of the final stages. Essentially, you have to get to the boss with a full bar of health, or else you're gonna lose and just go back to the beginning. After a couple tries at the second form, I called it a night. It's a fun game, but damn, just a brutal one that wore me down attempting to beat it all in one go. In terms of music and graphics, it's one of the NES's more impressive examples. Many of these tunes will pump you up to go hacking and slashing up the bad guys. The environments are varied with locations such as streets, jungles, caverns, dungeons, and mountains. And the cutscenes look well drawn and detailed. The enemies are kinda weird though. You got your standard enemies, but then you have weird ones like a Jason knockoff and a giant skeleton. The bosses are threatening, but I often can't make out what they're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure the final boss is like an alien that spews out giant shrimp. Overall, Ninja Gaiden is one of the NES's best games. The difficulty doesn't often feel unfair, but there are moments that you just find yourself wanting to bite into your controller out of sheer frustration. There is a strong sense of accomplishment when you manage to overcome the challenges, and having unlimited continues really helps. I wouldn't put myself through this game if I had to constantly keep restarting from the beginning of the game every couple game overs. I would recommend this game to any hardcore gamer looking for a challenge. Fortunately, the game is available on the NES Classic, and I expect to see it pop up on the Switch's new NES Online library. For Heroes of Fandom, I'm Boyle. Until next time. Hey, if you like this video, I have a special announcement. Coming up this month, all October, we will be releasing horror-themed game overviews. That's right, we're going to be celebrating Spoopy Month. We'll be looking at all sorts of horror-related games, so be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave in a comment what games you would like to see in the future. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to them.